you just get it right next week. I had two specific questions about silver, actually, and that I do think that we are going to have a major economic crisis coming in. I'm not certain how long, but probably years down the road, maybe 6 months if things are going the way that they continue to be going. But my question is, if I buy silver coins, will foreign coins be just as good in the U.S. as the U.S. minted coins, like the Canadian Navy or the
From the point of view of it, as an investment in silver, it doesn't make any difference. I mean, silver is silver. But if you end up utilizing the coins in transactions, which is something that we might end up doing because we end up having to go to a black market economy. So if, for example, the government has controls on gas and you don't want to wait in line, for 10 hours and you want to buy gas, illegally, and the black market will only accept payments in silver coins or gold, for the gas that you have to buy illegally because you want to get it right now and you're willing to pay for it. To the extent that, you have recognizable coins, it makes it easier for somebody to accept them. So if you just give them, a U.S. coin, pre-1965 silver quarter, they can look at it, they can see, all right, it looks like it's intact. I recognize that. If you've got some coin from Spain or, no one's ever heard of it, how do they know it's real silver? I mean, that's the whole thing. How do they know it doesn't look like silver? So it's when you have a recognizable coin from a recognizable mint, it makes it easier to exchange it with more people, because more people will readily say, oh, I recognize that coin. I know exactly what it is, and you can have a transaction.
Well, that does really make sense. And following up on that same point, actually, there's, I think it's an American silver eagle dollars that gets minted. It has a face value of $1. And so my thinking is, how is anybody going to know the real value of silver if it does come to that? How's everybody going to know that,
Well, people will start to realize, how much, there'll be a market for these coins based on, they're 80% silver, and so I think a silver dollar is worth about 80% of an ounce, and so a quarter is 1/4 of that. People will, the market will figure out, just like they might accept payment on the black market, they might accept payment in euros, and people will know, the exchange. If you go to any of these countries, and there's plenty. The black markets are there, and everybody knows what other exchange rates are. And what. So I mean, that's Did you have a second part to your question?
No, that was basically it. But there was like one small point about if one takes physical possession of bullion, gold or silver, is it true that it loses like 4 to 6% of its value because it's hard to know that it's pure?
No, it doesn't lose any of its value. I mean, the only, obviously, if you take physical possession of it, you are now responsible for storing it. And if there's a charge, I mean, obviously, you can store it in your house and it doesn't cost anything. But if it gets stolen, I mean, maybe you insure it, but then you have to pay for the insurance. And there's also shipping charges to get the coins to you, so there are extra costs. But you're not devaluing the coins simply because you have them in your possession.
Oh, okay, cool. And I just wanted to let you know that I bought a little book off of Amazon. It should be here next week, and I'll be looking forward to that. But in the meantime, too, if you had to pick one Austrian book that would be the book that all people should read, what would it be?
Well, I mean, they can read my book. I mean, Crash Proof is written from an Austrian perspective. But, a really good book to read to get the basics on it is Henry Hazlitt's Economics in One Easy Lesson. And, I mean, that really explains the economics, in a very, clear and easy manner. And, and I'm working on, bringing out my dad's cartoon books on economics, how an economy grows and why it doesn't, and the Kingdom of Malts. And those are great books to read to understand basic economics, as well as my father's original book, The Biggest Con, How the Government is Fleecing You. If you can find a copy of that one from the 1970s, it's a great book.
30 seconds.
30 seconds to what?
End of the program.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize I've been talking for an hour, although I think I got started a little late. Anyway, I apologize, everybody, for the fact that we couldn't take all the calls the right way and that I wasn't all queued up right at the top of the hour. But the time sure does fly. Anyway, I'm told there's about maybe 15 seconds left. Anyway, hopefully next week I'll be back with a more professional show. Don't forget to go to the website at www.europac.net. Check out the video blogs on YouTube and on my website. And make sure to call up the company if you set up an account or add to your account, 800-727-7922, 800-727-7922. Thanks again, everybody, for listening, and back again next week for another edition of Wall Street Unspun, Midweek Market Outlook.
Euro Pacific